Hey, what's up, YouTube family? Today's Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. You're almost there. You can make it. So, I got some content for you today. Now, I'm going to make this disclaimer because anytime I make a comment or I have something to say about, any political party, whether it be Republican or Democrat, it's always one that wants to accuse me of being the other. Okay, when I talk about Kamala Harris, if somebody come out of the woodwork saying, well, "What did Trump do for black people or anybody?" Oh, you're on that Democratic, or you're a Republican. You're one of them. Or if I speak about Trump, then you need to get off that Democratic plantation. Even though both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party they're both plantations. Definitely for black people, they're both plantations. They just have a different way of dealing with both people, but have the same feelings for black people in a whole. Both parties do. So I just think that's really small-minded, man. I think you really and it's really dismissive. Really, people do that because they don't want to analyze the information. So they'll hurry up, label you real quick, put you in a box, tape the box up, leave there, and then walk away. Because if they were to have an honest discussion about, what you're bringing to the table, if they really go over these facts and acknowledge these facts, then they will have to change some things. They will have to change how they look at things and how they feel, and then that's when you get, feelings get involved, and emotions get involved, and then your psyche gets involved, and it's just a big hurdle that people don't want to jump over. So it's just much easier to just, be where you're at and stay in it, and then find reasons to affirm how you already feel, whether it be right, whether it be wrong. People just, they don't want to make that leap, man. It's too scary for them. But me, I acknowledge that both parties have, they both have issues, stark issues, both of the parties. So I make content about both. If it's something that's true, let's acknowledge it. I'm not one to say I'm right all the time, but I'm not one to say I'm wrong all the time either. So, but I want to talk about what you see on your screen. How many times these people going to play in our face? Like, how many times are these people really going to play in our face? A chameleon changes its skin based on what environment it needs to adapt to. And that's what most politicians are, and that's definitely what Ms. Harris is, and her handlers are. Whatever the climate is, you have to adapt. So in 2016, she was labeled an Indian American, where and when it was convenient. But now, in 2020, when it was convenient, and even now, it fits the narrative that she should be labeled a black woman. Because the program that they're running, it requires for her to adapt to being a black woman, so she can appeal to black women and black people. Just like President Trump, he gets shot, he gets charged for these felonies, and all of a sudden he's a black man. Now, Miss Kamala Harris, she had a Zoom meeting, supposedly had a Zoom meeting, in which I don't believe that happened or that occurred. And 44,000 black women donated $1.5 million to her. Supposedly, now this is what they're saying. I will have to see the Zoom call for that to occur, for me to believe that. But I just think that she has a benefactor that gave her $1.5 million and said, "Hey, we're going to go ahead and run a story that this was given to you by black women, because there's something that we're going to run with. This is a part of a bigger plan, so we have to say that this occurred." So that's what I think mostly happened. But we're going to dig into her past. We're going to dig into her background a little bit, and we're going to discuss some things here coming up. Okay, in this article, it says keep nonviolent prisoners locked up. As California Attorney General, she spent years subverting a 2011 Supreme Court ruling requiring the state to reduce its prison population. The overseeing judicial panel nearly found the state in contempt of court. This article by Alexander Salmon. This is dated July 30, 2020. Even though this article is from 2020, it is very relevant to now's situation because she's talking about running as the Democratic nominee. So if she's going to be running as the Democratic nominee, we need to know what she's about. When she's had power, when she's been in positions where she's oversees things, we need to know how she runs. We need to know how she handles situations and what type of ruler she is and what type of decisions that she makes for the overall people. So we're about to get into that here in just a second. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read this article together. Senator Kamala Harris, Democratic California, a leading candidate to be Joe Biden's running mate, repeatedly and openly defied U.S. Supreme Court orders to reduce overcrowding in California prisons. Wow, just like Joe Biden, the three strikes law, while serving as the state's attorney general. So these are the type of decisions that she makes when she has authority. According to legal documents reviewed by the prospect, working in tandem with Governor Jerry Brown, Harris and her legal team filed motions that were condemned by judges and legal experts as obstructionist, bad faith, and nonsensical. At one point, even suggesting that the Supreme Court lacked the jurisdiction, to order a reduction in California's prison population. So I'm pretty sure she was probably, at the time, private prisons. Those who control private prisons, she's probably had multiple deals with them. And you know what? I know a lot of these states, if they don't keep these private prisons full, they get fined. So I wonder if that's the situation here, where if Kamala Harris has entered into a deal with these private prisons, if those who head these private prisons, and if she doesn't keep these private prisons as stocked and as packed as she had promised in the deal that she has made. Now, this is all, alleged. I'm not saying that this has happened, that she could be fined, or she could have her her financial support pulled from her if she doesn't make these decisions. So your politicians are bought and sold for. So I wish they would just go ahead and say, hey, this is who sponsors me. They might as well wear like those tags on their clothes of the companies or the entities that sponsor them, because she's going to make decisions based on, their interests. Now let's go ahead and read the rest of this article. The I'm going to butcher that. Of this legal work resulted in the presiding judges in the case giving serious consideration to holding the state in contempt of court. Wow. Observers worried that the behavior of Harris' office had undermined the very ability of federal judges to enforce their legal orders at the state level. So she's preventing people from doing their jobs. She's preventing law from occurring, rights from things being taken care of, pushing the federal court system to the brink of constitutional crisis. So she's willing to take it there. This extreme resistance to a Supreme Court ruling was done to prevent the release of fewer than 5,000 non-violent offenders who multiple courts had cleared as presenting next to no risk of recidivism or threat to public safety. So she said, F the law. F how y'all feel. I don't care about, what the Constitution said, what the law says. It doesn't matter. It's all about what I can do. How far can I take it? It's basically what she's saying, what she did here. She's defied the Constitution. So do we want somebody literally defying the Constitution in office, let alone being VP? But in office, do we want anybody like that, willing to, throw away the law of the land, basically, and, just being defiant, we don't want that, something like that. I don't want like something like that in office. You guys may, or somebody else may, but I surely do not. And this is important because this is applicable, because this woman is talking about, the possibility be of the first female or Indian American or African American, whatever she want to call herself, female president. And if this is how she's going to run things, then we are, we could be possibly in for, literally a dictator. Not saying that anybody else would be a dictator, but she for sure has the past that shows that she will defy the law of the land, and she will go against the Constitution, if need be, to keep prisons full, to keep nonviolent offenders locked up, keep people away from their families, and all based on her own interests, which at the end of the day, is 9 times out of 10 is money. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, guys, here we go. This is some more information in regards to her background and her numbers on how many people she's locked up for simple marijuana charges. The Washington Free Beacon's finding that Senator Kamala Harris, Democratic California, had locked up at least 1,560 people for marijuana-related offenses while she was California's Attorney General was off. So they're saying that number was off. There was reported that she locked up 1,560 people for weed-related crimes in California, which is an oxymoron in itself. But that number was off. That number was off. So they're here to retract that statement and give you a new number. According to California's Department of Corrections, which now says at least almost 2,000 were admitted to prison under Harris for weed. Locking up people, sending people to prison for weed, not county jail. You're going to prison for that roach, sir. You're going to prison for that gram, sir. Yeah, you're going to prison. Listen to the rest of it. The February report came out, renewed scrutiny after it was cited by Republican Tulsi Gabbard, Hawaii, is an attack on Harris during Wednesday night's Democratic primary debate. The Harris campaign responded by labeling the statistic a lie, but a fact check by San Francisco Chronicle found that even more people were put in prison, for marijuana-related offenses than initially estimated. So they did the homework. They did the fact checking. They say, hey man, you know what? We need to go back and go over what we said initially because I was wrong. They owned up to it, but then they brung out more information, more facts, more numbers, and more reason for Kamala Harris to not be in any, let alone Attorney General, but President of the United States. You know how many people, nonviolent people, she's going to lock up? Do you know how much tyranny she's going to, put in effect? Her resume is pretty bad, guys. So I'm gonna conclude this video with saying, no, for sure on Kamala Harris. And you know what? If we were to just go over her resume here, all the information I presented, if we were to have to make a logical choice, even though both sides are bad, guys, both sides are bad, so I'm not here campaigning for one or the other, but for sure not Miss Harris, because she likes to lock up people who are nonviolent. She likes to go against the Constitution, and she likes to lie, and she likes to lock people up and send people to prison for weed. So all those things spell dictator to me, spell unqualified for me, and overall it just spells trouble. But you know what? This mimics Joe Biden when he was in office in the 90s, presenting the three strikes law. Joe Biden locked up a lot of black men in California. A lot of people don't know that. So when they start pulling the black card and trying to go to the black the black community worldwide and trying to get some support, man. You remember the things that these people have done. Okay, you hold them to that. And you don't allow them to play in your face. So, moral of the story, y'all. Stop letting these people play in your face, man. Stop letting these people pretty much, tell you in other ways that you're not smart enough for me to understand that. I'm just playing you. Because that's what they're doing. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of my more well put together videos. It's hump day. Hope you guys have a great day. It's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, there's black people in Nebraska. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.